giving a four sessions, right? This particular session is the prepared speech session, where the members of the club will come and present a speech based on the project they have to deliver. And this speech will be mentored, and then now they're going to present here. So prepared speech is one of the favorite sessions because the speaker can try multiple things where can bring variety into their speech and experiment it. So today we have two speakers who's gonna come and present today. The first speaker is someone who's known for having a plan for a plan, a framework for a framework, a process for a process. He's a meticulous planner, and also he's good at executing the process, sometimes even the people. Before we call upon the speaker, I request his evaluator to read out his speech objectives.
Thank you so much, Pudatan. Sateesh is attempting a speech from the project manual, which is Presentation Mastery. Level 3, the elective we has taken. The elective was connecting with storytelling. The objective of his speech is to bring a story in a speech or deliver a speech which is a story. Okay? Over to you.
Please help me in welcoming our first speaker for today, DTM Sateesh Kumar. Don't talk to strangers. Don't talk to strangers. DTM Sateesh Kumar.
It was one of the early mornings of last year's summer. After frequent cancellations and frustrations, I was waiting for my Uber auto to arrive. In spite of trying a lot of taxis, I learned that autos are something which is easily available in those early mornings. Finally, this auto driver came and I boarded the auto and we were on the way to airport. Every time during those kind of early morning drives, after those frustrations and delay, I will never have a mood to get into a conversation. Those drivers always try to make a small talk. I never ignored them. The reasons I always wonder why I ignored them was like, why should I talk to them? They will obviously have a reason that how much service tax this Uber and Ola are charging them. If I talk to them little nice, do they ask me a little more money? What's in it for me? Why do I talk to them? Better let me be the quiet. My selective introvert pitch in, and I always keep quiet during those kind of drives. That day also I stayed quiet. My mind was keep saying, don't talk to strangers. Good morning, Meraki and esteemed guests. It was on one of the Sunday of last year, July 9th. It was a busy Sunday. I was doing all the chores and I was getting ready excitingly for my online meeting of the Gavel Club. There was a small task left for the afternoon, so I went to the nearby iron shop to pick up my kids' uniform. While returning and closer to my home, that sad thing of accident happened. I met with a two-wheeler accident. It was a quiet road, nobody was around, two vehicles got into a collision. The moment I fell down, I was a little unconscious for a few seconds. Finally, I could manage to get up myself and sat on the passerby area. I could still manage to call my son and ask him to take me back home. Finally, after a little more time, I was taken to the hospital, and after the scanning and testing, I was told there was a minor rib injury on multiple sides of my left side of the back. Then they suggested that next 6 to 8 weeks is going to be a very quiet, calm, resting time. I didn't know that those next 6 weeks or 8 weeks is going to be a nightmare for me. Even a single daily chore, I have to get the help of my family or neighbor or anyone closer to me. Even during that day, when I have to get into the scanning, I have to get a lot of help from the people around me. I never thought that I will be depending on someone so much those days of 8 weeks. In order to visit the doctor every week for the checkup, again I have to pick up this local auto stand rather than taking an Uber, because the hospital was less than a kilometer. It was very tough to get an Uber. taking a small talk with those auto drivers, because though they are a stranger, now I have a necessity to talk to them. Even a small bump in the road, if we go a little fast, will be lethal for my injury. So I started the small talk with them. I have to explain why they have to go slow. Slowly, week by week, I started going into those stands and take an auto. Even I got little familiarity with those auto drivers. One of them, I remember the name on the last visit. He got a smile on his face. Not only these random auto drivers or even the staff at the hospital who take me to the scan on the last time need the help. I need their help. I can't just wake up myself. Initial 15 days it was only on a standing posture for me. After a few weeks I started getting into the lie down position. Even the front desk staff in the hospital, I started making the small conversation. After sharing the pleasantries in the waiting time, I started talking about their wearables. I started inquiring from where they are coming from. Slowly, this conversation built it. On my last visit, when I remember their native and inquired about the little incident happened in their place, brought smile in their face. This 8 weeks of break, I would call it, has taught me a lesson that talking to a stranger is not simply by changing a human nature. It's more about understanding those inhibitions on individuals. Be it my son, whom I took help to get me up from the bed. I never thought that I will ask him for a help at this age itself. Be it feeding me, the initial 3 weeks, even I can't eat myself. Somebody at home has to feed me. Even those random auto drivers whom I never cut a conversation, I have to talk to them. They were not thinking that what's in it for them. They were so cautious and they were so conscious and listening to me, asking what happened, how did it happen. That was the moment I realized that talking to a stranger is not about changing the human nature, but about coming out of the inhibitions. The entire world, strangers are a person who are available for you to talk about an opportunity to have a conversation. They are an opportunity to build a connection. Last month, when I was returning back from the Chennai Central Railway Station, after the same early morning, multiple cancellations and rejections, I went to the nearby railway station auto stand and called a guy. After agreement of the fare, we started traveling in the auto. My selective introvert has gone long after those 8 weeks of break. I started making the small talk. It was an early morning, around 5 in the morning, Anna Sale, no crowd. He was rushing towards my home. The conversation started building. After a few minutes, I realized he was spending his 15 years of life, early 90s, in the street, 3 streets away from the place where I born and brought up and lived. Still, I remember his name, Saravanan. He could relate the mom and biryani stall, the bakeries, and the Avirami theatre on the streets of Erode. The effort, little effort, has made me to connect with him. Friends, talking to a stranger is like reading a book. Either you can just look at the title or take a book, turn to a page, learn for yourself. You decide.
Thank you, DTM Sateesh.